Hello and welcome to Connections Forum. Today a special edition a little bit later in the day because we have a special guest, Andrea Beltrami, and she couldn't make it in our normal time. We are so flexible and we can adjust that. Anyway, we are here, Connections Forum, which is a forum for expression and healing and all the important things of human life, like relationships, growing up, spirituality, and life's journey, life purpose, and so on. And we enjoy to have people to share with us their journey, their intentions, what they are doing, what is near to their heart. Today, our title is The Solo Entrepreneur's Journey Through Stress. Is it right, Margherita?
Yeah,
I think. Okay. And I think this is really a big thing. For a long time, I'm Heidi Hornlein, by the way, Heidi Hornlein, or Adelheid Hörnlein, and I'm in Italy. I have a host, retreat. I'm a retreat host and a Hangout host, as you see here, and with the Wisdom Factory. And we have also guest rooms here in Italy, so if you come, like Mia Voss did some time ago, come and see us. My personal website is thepowerofrelationship.com, and I will be happy if you come there and opt in. So I wanted to say, what did I want to say, Margherita? I'm a little confused. I think I give over to you, okay?
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm Margherita Crystal Lotus, and I'm an intuitive mentor, healer, author, creative artist, and consciousness explorer from Sweden, which is my home country. I help stressed and overwhelmed professional women overcome emotional turmoil and recover to their authentic selves. And I do this work via online program or at Enchantment, a private healing retreat I created here in Kingston, Ontario. That's Canada, where I live. I come from an academic background of art and science, and I use my studies in math and chemistry to make sense of the intricacies of healing and using crystal tools, which is my passion. I absolutely love seeing clients thrive and flourish when they see the gift of healing in their life. And my website is thecrystallotus.com. So now to Andrea or Dre. Say hi.
Hey, what's up, what's up? And I have to first say thank you for the later time, because when you first approached me and said that it was 7 a.m., I almost fell off my chair, and I politely declined. So I appreciate you guys servicing the morning groucher by making this a little bit later. So thank you.
Awesome. And Andrea, or she calls herself Dre, is a full-time visual strategist and designer, and also a graduate of the School of Life with a minor in lofty dreams and a major in dysfunctional independence. She says she learned most of what she knows through arduous process known as learning the hard way. She used her wisdom to help solopreneurs creating a vision for their voice and help them create visual contents that conveys their passion, purpose, and personality and voice. She loves helping newbies, solopreneurs, and small business entrepreneurs via her blog, The Branded Solopreneur, where she delivers content focused on strategies, tips, resources, and tools for branding, design, and visual marketing mastery. So I did a little newbie attempt to actually illustrate this for everyone, and I'm going to enlarge my screen here. So if this is you over here and you have these kind of questions, ask Dre.
I love it. That's a good illustration. You can draw a hell of a lot better than I can.
So my first question, Dre, is how did you started your journey to become a business owner and where you are today?
That was honestly a lifelong journey. I help the solopreneurs because that is just what I am to my core. I was a professional side jobber, as I call it, for decades. So even I was the entrepreneur when I was little. I wanted to sell everything. I wanted to make transactions. You know, my imaginary games were always running a shop or a store. Both my parents have been self-employed my entire life, so my journey was from the very beginning, from when I was a kid with little businesses to businesses during high school and college, and it's been a journey. I've learned, like I said, all the wrong things to do. I've made all the mistakes you could possibly make, although I'm sure there's a ton more for me to make. I went to school for interior design. I thought that's what I wanted to do. I've tried so many different things to figure out what I wanted. I went to school for interior design. Then I started helping my mom on her wedding and event planning by doing graphic design and web design for her clients. It's been an accumulation of decades that honestly I've never felt clearer in what I want to do, who I am, and what I really want to be all about. But it's taken a long time, and there's still moments of doubt. But I love that we're talking about the solo entrepreneur's journey, because there is a whole different life to a solo entrepreneur. There's a whole different set of struggles and obstacles, and it's a different mindset. And I am just solo to my core, like I said, dysfunctionally independent. To a flaw, I'm really independent and want to roll solo. And it's taken me a long time to get to a place where I think that I'm in that right mindset. And I love hearing from others their struggles, because I think once we start talking about it and once we open up about these type of things, we find out that we all have very similar stories. Whether we have different backgrounds and cultures, we find that there's a lot of similarities in the solo journey.
So, can you tell us a story that you found very difficult to overcome that most people have who starts their journey?
I think 110% it was being me. I came from corporate America. Let me just say, in corporate America, my sass and blunt and very straightforward approach was not appreciated. And I was really taught that you're not to have a personality. You know, you market and you do business, but it's not about you, and nobody cares about you and wants to hear your story or know your personality. And we don't really want you to have a personality. We want you to be, you know, the company. So, and a lot of us come from that background, whether it's from childhood and growing up or a corporate background or something like that. When we go out on our own, we're terrified to be us. And I was just like that. My first really active brand online was Chic Geek Academy, and while it was the most growth that I ever did, because I failed the most at it, that's why, because I wasn't myself. And I think a lot of us get afraid, especially if we have, you know, different quirks that we think, you know, don't fit into that professional mode. I think a lot of us, you know, we use that professional word. Well, we want to be professional. We want to, you know, we don't want to be ourselves, because if we use that language, that might not feel like we're professional. As bloggers, like, being unique and having your own voice and style and staying you, that's how you're going to stand out. But it's one of the scariest things. It seems so simple, but person after person I've talked to, they fell into the same thing. Like, being really afraid to put themselves out there. And it is scary as hell. You're letting the world see you and judge you. And it can be really scary, especially if you've had other people judge you before and it felt really awful. And I think a lot of us struggle with that.
Yeah. I mean, I worked for a multinational company in Sweden, American, for 11 years before I came to Canada. So I know exactly what they're talking about. You know, the you know, intrigues and the concocts, whatever, different groups you have to align with, whatever. It was a good school, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, it had to be right off the policy, and if you broke some rules, you know, then you got punished, whatever. So we've talked in the green room about the word badass. So can you tell us a little bit what that means for you?
To me, a badass is that person who is committed to their journey, ready to get up when things get hard, to never give up and to stay fierce in who they are. When you're a badass, you're just comfortable in your skin. You're ready to do the work. You're not perfect or anything, but you are ready to tackle the journey. So for me, a badass solopreneur is someone just ready to go. You're not going to be able to crush them. When they fail 20 times, they're going to get right back up. When somebody doesn't like them, they're not going to dilute themselves or cower to please those people. The badass is just the success mindset of a solopreneur for me. So, you know, it's not the negative connotation that so many people think it is. And we talked about how, you know, different cultures or languages, that doesn't even translate. Like Heidi was saying, I don't even understand what you mean by badass. And the thing is that I totally get that, and I appreciate you guys saying that I should really explain what I mean by that and come at it. But I also pushed back on you guys and said, that's the whole thing, though. This is me. This is the language I use. This is the mindset I have. And you can't reach everybody. That's another mistake I think a lot of us make, is that we want to dilute things so they're really vanilla and everybody can understand it and appreciate it and devour it. And that's not the place that I come from anymore. So it's a qualifier for me. People that don't get badass are probably not going to hire me or want to read my stuff. So I go with it. It's just a core part of my foundation. What's up, Heidi? I know you're dying to pipe in on that.
Yeah, I'm dying. You say it's not true for you anymore. And I think it's so many people, especially women, they want to be liked. They get everything, you know, I don't dare to do that because then they don't like me, and men, oh God, and then I may be alone or whatever it is. So I'm asking you, what did you do, or what would you say makes you so badass-ish? I mean, what process was it you had to do to be able to just not care if somebody doesn't like you, not care if somebody attacks you with strange words or something, you know, and just go on? What is it?
For me, that was a process. Like I said, that wasn't, you know, I didn't come out of the gate like this. But I realized that when I did things very vanilla and diluted, I didn't gain anything from it, and I honestly felt so detached from my brand. So for me, a lot of it is rationalization. I'm an overthinker and an overanalyzer and a worrier and a stressor. But for me, it came down to, what's the worst case? So this person online doesn't like me. Does it change anything? No. So this person said really mean things to me. In my real life, I mean business, and when I mean real life, I mean as a solopreneur, as a blogger, in my real life, does it matter if this person just said that I suck? Did it matter that they said, you know, that I'm unprofessional and they don't want to read my blog? Like, really, one person in the millions out there that I can reach? I just got real. And the reality is that none of that stuff actually matters. If people hate you, who cares? There are people long before I got online that hated me, you know? And then, you know, we all have that. So, but it gets hard when you're online to block that out.
What do you do with the first moment that often gets, you know, when you get a critique or really bad attack? There is some emotion normally, and what do you do to immediately sort of, you say you are rationalizing it, you say it doesn't depend anything, so you are sort of speaking with yourself, do a self-talk?
I have a crazy inner voice, like she's crazy, like the devil and the angel, they're always like, ooh, like tweeting in my ear. And the other thing I do is I reach out to the people that do love me, whether that's my family, friends, or my community. Like starting this society, the Badass Solopreneur Study, for me was huge. It's such a win-win for everybody because I want to provide the community for people to get to support. But honestly, it's good for me because I get this community that is there to support me and believe in me. So every time, you know, somebody says something horrible about me, I go back to my community that totally respects me and adores me and, you know, doesn't get sucked into that. And before I had the community, I reached out to friends and family. You know, somebody, go talk to my mom who's going to tell me she loves me and I'm never going to do anything wrong. And guess what? To that one person that just emailed me that, you know, I do the devil's work, You know, that was one of my favorite ones. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. My friends, my family, my clients, my community, that's what matters. So just reach out to the people that care. Give yourself a reality check. You know, realize, like, what's the very worst case? I really try to do that with every situation. What's the worst case? And most of the time when you get real, it's that it doesn't matter. It's totally inconsequential.
This is a very good technique, no? The reality check. And then calm yourself down by what means ever. Some people do EFT or things like that. And
Exactly.
by talking, you go in relationships. And this is a very feminine mode, by the way, to go into relationships to work out these things. Very nice. Thank you.
Yep.
Heidi, can you see who is here today? And we can do a shout out.
Oh, yeah. There's Jeremy Murphy, there's Richard White, there is Lawrence Gold, there is Ravinder Hari, and there's you, Margherita, Phil Aston, and Joel Ekman, and Jim Sharp, and Roy Montero, Josie James, Teacher Chris, and May Wang said they would come, and Carmen Mandik couldn't come, but maybe we see her in Replay City. Elaine couldn't come, we knew that. Michael Thomas, he said he might come, but otherwise he catches the replay. So far, so good.
I got a comment here from Lawrence Gold. He says, when we were talking about the corporate America, he says, corporate authoritarians, wusses. I don't know exactly what he means by that, but it seems to fit in really well.
Yes, I agree. I give him a high five for that one.
Yes. High five, Lauren. Very good. So let's discuss some of the immediate concerns that a solopreneur who doesn't know that they're going to be a solopreneur, how can you help them, Andrea, to actually be confident about what they're about and what they're going to do? Because in the beginning, we don't know exactly what to do, right?
I think whether you're in the beginning, middle, or end, it's important to surround yourself with people that you can learn from and that you can feed off of and vibe off of. That's one of the things that I love about my community, is that I really vibe off them. They set the tone, which is very welcoming and understanding. There'll be judges if you have a, quote unquote newbie question. There's a lot of people that post something and, with the disclaimer of like, I know I probably sound like an idiot and I should know this. And no, we all started at the beginning. So the best way that I can help people on that solopreneurs can really get a good foundation is to find the right group of people to surround yourself with, and watch what they do and feed off of their confidence and the way that they bounce back. I mean, that's again another thing that I did is I only really started following. I mean, I was following a zillion people before, and everything just got clouded and muddy for me, and I kind of lost myself in it. And then I stepped back and I really started surrounding myself and engaging and communicating with those that resonated with who I was and really felt like what I was about. And I think that's a huge step. As solopreneurs, we're rolling solo, but that doesn't mean that we don't need a support system. That's a huge, huge part, is that we have to have that support system, and we have to have those people that we can bounce things off and get that reality check when we're not able to do it. Somebody else needs to do it for us, and it needs to be someone that we respect and care about and know that it's being done in love, and those are important things.
I see a comment here from Charles Dunkley here, and he says, the devil's work. Wow, that's a pretty wild out there critique.
Well, it's so funny because on one of my, I think it's on my About page, and I might have it in an email, I can't remember, but I have every Halloween, right? We know I'm sassy and everything, or if you don't know, I'm super sassy and sarcastic. And so every Halloween, there's been this tradition for 10 years that I put those clip-on devil horns in, right? I do it every year. right? My friends all know family. It's like it's just a funny thing that I do. So I have one of those pictures, just me being silly with a drink in my hand and the devil horns. And yeah, I had a woman email me a very lengthy email about how she could never follow me because I'm doing the devil's work, and it was actually hilarious. I wanted to share it because it's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's called humor and fun. And if you don't get my humor and fun, you're not going to get it. Like, you should unsubscribe and you should leave right away, because I don't do the devil's work, but I do like to have fun on Halloween. So I did think that was funny, Charles.
Yeah, I mean, to actually own it. I've had a comment, Heidi said it to me, but I could never find it. And then the first thing that happened was, oh, they don't like it. But then it's like, okay, I know that person, and it's their opinion, and then it doesn't do anything to me.
No.
Exactly. This is my response to Charles. Some people have their problems with their own devil, and then they see it in others. It's no big deal, as Andrea says.
It's not. Like I said, so that one person thinks that I do the devil's work, and 900 other ones have told me that they absolutely adore what I do, and they're so appreciative. So at the end of the day, does it matter if that chick likes me? Hell no.
Yeah. And then we have Richard Wright has a question for Andrea. Well, ask away, Andrea. Richard.
Hit me with it.
Type in the question.
Hit me with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm really an admirer of you, because you really stand solid for what you do, and you have a wide community. And I'm in your Facebook community there, and it's like, it is really supporting. And then, like it's like, okay, I can let everything hang out. It doesn't matter. I'm here to actually do a business and help people that are attracted to me, who I can help. And I mean, that's probably the best definition of niching I've ever heard.
Well, thank you. I love those warm and fuzzies. But that's what I'm talking about. I set the vibe, and the rest of the badasses is what, obviously what I call my peeps, took with it. And you see it. You're in there. It's a different vibe than other groups. And it's, again, we're vibing off each other. And it's funny, because you'll see when new people come in and they don't have that mentality, and they start lobbying, marketing hype, and promoting, nobody engages with them. Nobody talks to them. And we're very like-minded people. But I really appreciate that. And like I said, it took a long time to get there, but I am fierce and steadfast in, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and if you like it, I am here for you no matter what. And if you're not, best of luck. Get out.
You're a very courageous person, and really, high five here too. I think many of us, especially women, have still to arrive there, to go out, be confident enough, and have their support system, and don't give a when other people, some people say, give you the, how do you say, Beleidigung? I don't know the word just now. I mean, they do something like an attack. They put you down or something like this. Yeah. And it's your choice if you feel to be put down or not. And we have always to think about that. That's our choice, to accept their verdict, or if we go against it, and give our self-evaluation. And this is a learning process, and I hope you are younger than us. Younger generations get it a little bit quicker.
Well, it's a process. I think, like, what I always say is that I run everything through a filter, but that filter's gotten a hell of a lot, more robust over the years. And these days, so it's a process. These days, it's a pretty, it's heavy-handed filter, but that wasn't always the case. So you just have to keep working through it, and it will get there. And I think you nailed it on the women. I think that, I'm not one to make women or men, that kind of thing, but I'm also from corporate America and know that women are still battling things that men don't really have to. And I think it's really important as women that we realize that we're awesome, we're badass, and that we're great how we are. Not to say that we can't learn and evolve, but to really feel comfortable in our skin. And I think that that automatically starts attracting other people. And then, like I said, you guys just feed off each other, and that's really the magic.
And also do the things in our way and not try to imitate others.
Yep.
There's
and
Margherita
respect
with a
each
comment.
other for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We have a comment here from Ulrike Hayden. Hi everyone, I totally agree with Andrea's view on the immeasurable preciousness of a supporting group for solopreneurs.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Hi Ulrike, glad you're here.
I know. High five for that. But it's true. I think that that's one of the hardest things about being a solopreneur is feeling alone. And then that's when your insecurities and everything really flare up, because you don't have that baseline to go back to. You're alone, and so somebody says that they hate you or you did something wrong. You don't have anybody else to go, that was an opinion, or okay, so maybe you did do it wrong, but even if you did it wrong, like, oh God, your world's over? No, not so much. But having a support group is going to get you that baseline, get you back to just a neutral, so that you can process this and not let something throw you into an insecure loop of you're not good enough.
Mm. Heidi, you have a comment there?
Yeah, first I wanted to say, Richard said that, Andrea, your name is Dri and you are a passion. I'm thrilled to have you. And he said before that his parents were called Dri, I think. But I want to go to Jeremy Murphy. He said, I agree with Andrea that solopreneurs need an inner circle, a brain trust, or as Napoleon Hill put it, a mastermind group. The transformation that can occur with these groups is amazing. Without them, we are all in our individual silos. Alone. Does it go on here? Struggling. Alone struggling. Yeah, so right.
Yeah, high five to that, Jeremy. It's so true. And that's the whole thing. You feel like you're on an island, and you can't relate to anyone, and you can't build relationships, and that baseline of reality is skewed. So I'm so glad to hear that everybody is agreeing, and I think that's a huge part. If you're a solopreneur, get out there and find the right group for you. Whatever that is, whoever you resonate with, find it.
But I think it is for us, it needs also a step of development, because we have to overcome the fear of competition if we go into a group. And this still is a big thing, that people think somebody steals my content, and then sells it at their own. It can happen, but I mean, the trust, getting trust, building trust.
Yep.
How do you build trust? How did you do it with your group?
I think that the biggest key for me and for anyone is the transparency. And I think that's why I've made the traction that I have since I launched in only October of last year. I am real, like Margherita said, in my group and in my emails and in my blog posts, I'm real. Like when I screwed up something, I say I screwed it up. When I'm having a bad day, I email and say, look, like I've been emailing the last couple of weeks and being really transparent that I'm burnt the hell out. Like I've been working 12-hour days, 7 days a week for months, to do everything that I've been doing, and I hit burnout, and I had no inspiration and motivation, and I've been working short days and getting out of the house, and like I said, talking to friends and family, but I'm really transparent, and I think that's how you build up trust. I mean, how can I resonate or relate to someone who is always perfect, always on, always polished, always says the right thing? I can't. And I think that we've lost that in this online world because we're so used to being marketed to, and we need to have the perfect copywriting and all that crap. That's not what I stand for. I stand for I'm going to say it the way I'm going to say it, and I'm going to be totally real. Like I always best good, the bad, and the ugly. I will own it all. And I think it's refreshing for people.
Definitely. You are, it's like the other side of me in the marketing world is probably you.
I love that.
I work with healing, right? And healing, you have to to put a container on the issue that the person have, but and you have to be very sensitive to that and put yourself in their situation and guide them when they're extremely vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And then so from that stage of that, those people who need that, and then coming out and creating a business, which I've seen some of my clients do, they need people like you to lift them to the next level, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's the yin and the yang, baby.
So I looked at one of your mini courses.
Mm-hmm.
I was quite impressed. So do you want to talk a little bit about some of the content that you provide?
Sure. Well, I'm all about, the visual and the branding. So a lot of that goes to help solopreneurs and bloggers to put their, I always say it's creating a vision for your voice. So really creating that visual style, and that's getting people brand recognition and to stand out of line and really, like I said, own their uniqueness in their style and their brand is what I'm all about. But the mini courses have been so fantastic because they're another way for me to reach people in a very transparent way. I think a lot of us, you guys know with your show, it seems like there's a lot of bells and whistles and it's really scary in technology, and then, like I said, you have to be buttoned up and polished and like I'm a great host and all of this stuff, right? But again, when you're just really transparent and you just get on a Google Hangout and you're like, hey guys, I'm going to show you how to create a logo, but take it or leave it. Like that logo class, oh my God, do you guys know how much pushback I got? I got so much hate on that course from designers who told me I must not value myself and, why would I tell someone they can create a logo, then what do they need me for? And but it's a whole different mentality. Again, I'm like, I honestly don't give a shit what you think. And my people aren't designers. Why would I be training a designer how to design? And I don't feel like I'm going to be irrelevant when I educate people because I'm not fear-based by that. But that was a little tangent, sorry. But the mini courses have just been another way for me to reach people. I mean, you guys know, hearing somebody's voice, seeing somebody's mannerisms on the camera has been a great way for me to build trust. Again, I'm just being transparent. Like, this isn't pre-recorded. I'm just going to get on. I'm going to flop. I'm going to go, I'm going to stutter. I'm going to do all these things. But the reception has been really good, and I know that it's great training and it's great expertise, and it's 99% of my mini courses have been on some aspect of branding and creating a visual style, whether that be in your images or your logos or getting traffic over to your blog. I'm just all about empowering people and, like you said, getting them to the next level, making them feel comfortable, and building trust with my community. And the mini courses have been fantastic for me.
Heidi, you have a comment?
Yeah, I want to come back to the topic we had before. Reike says if somebody steals your content, it's not a big deal. They still have to do all the relationship building work with their community and do the fine-tuning of their products for them. And I think if somebody steals your content, they don't really completely understand it because it's yours, and they will put a different tweak on it, and then it's not your content.
Exactly. I dare someone to steal my content. You're going to look like an idiot. And somebody actually has. And it was really funny because it was on finding your brand, like defining your unique brand. And they stole it. I'm like, that's pretty ironic. That's something about finding your unique brand and you stole it and put it on your blog. But guess what? You're an idiot. And here's the other thing about branding that I love is that you can't steal my stuff because it's all branded to me, like visually, everything. So when you put it on your blog, people found it. I didn't find it. People found it for me and said, this is your content, like image and all. Like, so you look like a moron now, and I am fine, and nothing hurt my traffic or my community. So again, reality check, like it didn't sink into some pit because somebody stole. Like it generally doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to get where you got, or they don't have the community or the list or the influence or the relationships that you have. So if they want to be an idiot and a douchebag and steal your stuff, let them. It just shows their character and how much they suck.
Yeah, there are some people who have stolen contents and made a big business out of it, but I mean, this is a certain, as you say, a certain character, and we don't want to have to do with them.
Yeah, exactly. Let them.
And
Who cares? It's even if they have a thriving business, it's not going to affect yours. It's not going to take yours. Those are two different people. Somebody who wants to follow someone like that is not going to follow me. So have them.
yeah, exactly.
Wow, and it shares your own ideas too, because the branding that you did that they stole, then that's multiplied. And
Exactly.
they're going to come and see it, right?
Exactly. And they're obviously not smart because they linked back. They kept all my links in there. So, like, they linked back to all my articles anyway. So it was honestly like, you're just a dumbass. Like, I didn't care.
Yeah, in this case, it probably is not even stealing, but it's supporting you when they leave all your links
Oh,
in
no, it
and
was
refer to you.
stealing. Like, you can't copy and paste my article onto your blog. Like, that's, you're
Okay.
a thief. And I totally put that lady on blast. That's the only thing I will say, is that if you steal my stuff, I will totally put you on social media and totally blast you as a trolling thief. And that's exactly what I did. And again, I thought that so many people would push back on that and say, like, you shouldn't have done that. But here's the thing. I emailed her and I gave her 2 days to take it off her blog, and she didn't. So I put her on blast. And again, that's my personality. Some other people wouldn't do it, and I thought I would get a ton of hate for it. But I actually didn't get any. Everybody was like, good for you, and this is kind of hilarious because I just went off on her. So
What would you advise to people who like really a blog of a person, and is there a blog sharing possibility so that they don't just copy and paste it, but that they can sort of, I don't know, a workaround so that they can publish it on your blog, on their blog, but it's still yours?
Well, there's ethical ways to do that, and there's, linking back to somebody is great, and it's also it's great for relationship building, but it's also great for your website and for ranking and for SEO when you have link backs to legitimate sites. It's really good. So the way to do that is to give them credit. Say that. If I was going to put the show in the links, I wouldn't just copy your blog post. I would say, I was on the Connection Forum and with Heidi and Margherita, and here's a link to it. If it was an article where, someone had a really eloquent quote that I wanted to, I would say, Margherita said this in her blog post, link to it, and then quote it. If I was going to use someone's image, which I do all the time in my blog posts, I get their image, I link that image to their blog post or to their blog, and I give them credit. I call them out and say, Margherita made this amazing image, talk about the image, and I let the blogger know, or I let the person know that I featured them. That's a relationship builder, and that's giving credit where credit is due. No one's going to hate on that. Stealing someone, copying word for word is not acceptable. It never has been and never will be. That's trolling and thieving. But there's tons of ways to honor someone and celebrate someone and feature someone. You just link to them and you give them credit.
Is it a little bit like we do on Google Plus when we share somebody else's content, we write something on top, why we like it, or why we offer it to other people, why we think it's a good thing for them to read it? Something like that?
Exactly like that. You just tag it, and in blogging, tagging is basically linking. So link the verbiage or their name, or if you're using an image, link it to their site, use their name, and then let them know that you did it. And I've never had anyone complain about that. People appreciate that. Again, we're helping each other and we're supporting each other. Nobody is going to give you crap for doing that. It's just when you do it in a shady manner, and we know, even if you're a beginner, you know better. You cannot copy someone's, word for word. You just can't do that. I mean, we all know copywriting and plagiarism from school. I don't care what culture we're in, and we're told you can't, copy and paste something word for word without giving credit or a citation. It's the same thing for blogging.
And not even only word for word. Not, I mean, even if they change some words, it wouldn't be okay.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not your thought, like when I do something like when I did Pinterest strategies. Okay, I didn't come up with these strategies. I gave credit to whoever I knew came up with them. Like Peg always, she came up with the pin it for later that everybody does. Like in the comments, we post a blog post, and in the first comment they put pin it for later, and then they include a Pinterest, a link to the pin. The Pig came up with that. So I put a blog post together on, the top 10 Pinterest visual strategies. But I gave her credit. She came up with it. I use it. You know, it's part of this post, but I wouldn't have taken credit even though I could have changed the wording. Nobody would have known. I learned it from her. She created that. She came up with that strategy. You know, and so I give her credit. That's it. People just want credit. They just want a little bit of, you know, a high five, a thank you, a handshake. I mean, that's really how we do it in blogging. That's the virtual way of saying, like, what's up? Is, you know, feature them, give them a shout out, tag them.
And we are happy if things are shared, no? But as long as you say that from us, I mean,
we love it.
Everybody.
I have a comment here from Elaine. It was earlier. She says, "Hi, Adelheid, Margherita, and Andrea. I so want to watch live, but cannot. Phony. Besides, I want to see how my host friends engage with a self-described badass. Hashtag replay city for me. And what does it say? Have fun, everyone, while you learn a boatload. Yes, my yes means I will be watching."
What's up, Elaine? Who's totally challenged me on the badass thing, and I think I might have finally converted her, but like I said, I pushed back hardcore on Elaine. She told me I should not say badass. She doesn't think I'm a badass. But I think you were right, Heidi. I explained what I meant by being a badass, and now I think Elaine gets it, and she's on board, and now it's just a funny thing we tease each other about. But she cracks me up with the badass thing, because it's always a joke for us.
Okay, we have another comment here from Charles Dunkley. Andrea owns one of the most recognizable branding when it comes to images. You know, the instant you see the graphic, it has to be Andrea's. What a good
I know.
feedback.
Thank you for those warm and fuzzies, Charles. That is awesome. And that's the power of branding, is that even if you don't know who I am, you keep seeing it in the feed, and eventually you're like, who is this girl? Or or you just know who I am. So that's exactly what branding's about, you guys. It's about people recognizing you.
And this is a good testimonial to put on your website.
I know. Thank you, Charles. You get 2 high fives, up top and down low.
Okay. So we are at the end of this episode. And
that was so fast.
It went so fast.
I
So,
know.
Andrea, what is your takeaway from your session here today?
My takeaway is that we are all really experiencing the same things, and it's time that we talk about it. It's time that you, as a blogger and a solopreneur, find that support group, and that you are true to yourself. We've all three said the same things and had the similar experiences, and we wouldn't know that unless we started talking to each other. We wouldn't know that until we started to share that part of us. And don't feel like you're not good enough, and don't feel like you have to be somebody else to be okay or to be accepted. Like, own your shit, own yourself, own your style, own your power, own who you are, and celebrate it, and don't let anybody detract you from that or get you off course. Just stay fiercely committed, and that's what's going to make you a badass.
This is wonderful, and I wanted to add, and in case if you feel that you are not good enough and that you don't make it and everything, know that you don't feel it, accept it too, and go on anyway. And become good enough in your own, not become good enough in the way that you even fight even more, but own the feeling and know that maybe it's a conditioned feeling and maybe it's not true. And as Andrea said, go out and see what other people says, and don't believe one person when 900 others say the opposite. So,
amen to that.
Yeah. So my takeaway here is the first thing you think about something is not necessarily the truth. Like when I heard the word badass, I didn't actually know what it meant because I'm Swedish and we don't have something like it. The translation for badass is dålig stjärt, which makes no sense in Swedish. And so then, so my suggestion, my takeaway is you have to actually ask about something you don't understand. If you don't understand how you can be acknowledged or liked or appreciated, then you can listen to Andrea saying that she's transparent with everything. So I think this episode is really cool because it just took away the coulisses, and then we are completely as we are, and I am in my pajamas.
Me too. Yay! Pajamas.
Yeah.
I love Google Hangout, so you can wear your slippers and PJs.
Yeah, and for the transparency, I wanted to say next week, we hope you will come, everybody, and join us, because we will have Lawrence Gold, and we will talk about the free training he is offering for August in his somatic education. This is a thing, a procedure, a technique, how to overcome stress and how to really change your mindset. When we have things like, I'm not good enough and I cannot do it, and we can work on them and let them go. And this will be the gold key release and expanded training. So please come next week and you'll get more information about that. Okay?
So
and thank you, Andrea.
So the final words to you, Andrea. Thank you so much for coming and checking us out. And I'm going to thank myself to actually checking you out.
Well, I thank both of you ladies. I am so glad that you had me on here, and that it was really just about, let's talk about the solopreneur journey. So this is an important conversation that needs to be had. So high five to you both for letting me come on with my badass and my sass. And it was fun, and I hope I can come back again.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we have learned a new vocabulary, Margherita.
Yes.
Badass.
And
okay. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Okay.